Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to our Career Corner. I'm Aaron Hendon. I'm the managing broker for Christine and Company and my business partner and the namesake of the team.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christine and we're with eXp Realty. Welcome to Career Corner.
Great. I'll give you a little bit of background about myself and then Christine will do the same and we'll jump right in. Let's see. So I'm originally from New York. So I talk really fast and I often forget to say please and thank you, but that's just how it goes. My household where I grew up, if you didn't end the sentence in an expletive, it was like you said please. So hopefully I'll avoid saying expletives during this Career Corner. I went to art school, graduated art school, and found that my Bachelor of Fine Art degree made me eligible to work in the food service industry anywhere in the country. And I took my talents from New York all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I wound up waiting tables because, fine art degree. And one day the baker in the restaurant quit and I knew how to bake because, again, fine art degree, and started baking. And I won a blue ribbon for my whole wheat challah in the New Mexico State Fair and another blue ribbon for my sourdough rye, and decided to open a bakery in Albuquerque and sold bagels to New Mexicans, which was fantastic. I had a great time doing that. 40 employees, did that for about 9 years, sold my business, went to work for a company called Landmark and did a bunch of...
and that's where we met.
That's where we met. That's where I met my partner, Christine, and moved to Phoenix, lived there for 3 years. And then I moved to Seattle and eventually found my way into real estate in 2013. And when I finally decided to make the leap over to real estate, I came to Christine because I knew that she was a baller agent and had everything that I wanted. I wanted to hook my wagon to someone who was, you ever meet anyone who just attracts money? They just attracts, like they always have. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to hook my wagon to anyone, I'm doing it to her. So I came to Christine. I said, all right, Christine, I'm ready to join your team. And she said,
I don't have a team.
And I said, well, you do now. And that was 2013. And we really haven't looked back since. It's just been great. My business has made more money every year than the year before. I just can't even say enough about the lifestyle and the opportunity that it is to be in real estate and be a partner with Christine on this team. And I'm delighted to have you all here so that we can go through it all. Christine, why don't you take a minute and introduce yourself?
Awesome. I'd love to. Hello. Okay, so let's see. Where should I start? I've been in real estate since 1997-ish, so a long time. But for 10 of those years, from like 1999 to 2009, 2008, I was actually a keynote speaker. So I traveled around the world, led seminars for other agents, teaching them how to build a foundation and an empire in the world of real estate. And, oh, by the way, I'm fully transparent and I may say things that are TMI. And if it's TMI, you probably don't want to be on our team because we're pretty transparent. So we don't keep business and life all separate and whatnot. So I'm going to share with you what really happened. And what really happened was that in 2007, my mom got diagnosed with terminal cancer. And the career that I had for the last 10 years bounced me all around the country. And what I really needed to do is go be in Florida with my mom. So I took leave or gave him, told him I wasn't going to be working there. I was an independent contractor. So I just said, don't book me on any trips. I'm going to Florida. They had given my mom 4 weeks to live. And miraculously, she lived 18 months. So I got to spend the last 18 months of my mom's life with her. However, I had stopped working. I worked here and there with them, but not much at all. I had cashed out my 401k, cashed out my stocks, took money out of my savings, not only so that I could live for that 18 months and flying back and forth to Seattle, Florida. By the way, it's not like I didn't invite my mom to come to Seattle, but she thought it would be too much of a burden and inconvenience on me to live with me. And I'm like, I'm flying across the country every week. But anyways, neither here nor there. I spent everything to spend those 18 months with her. And it was not a problem because I knew I'd go right back to work and I was making great money. I had a job that was very, very lucrative. So I knew I'd catch up whenever the inevitable came. Well, I lost my mom in July of 2008. And so in August, I decided I better get back to work because I had $0. Literally, I cashed out everything, I had $0. But that's okay. I had a really great job. So I went back to him and I said, I'm ready to start speaking again. And I think you all know what happened in October of 2008. The bottom fell out of the financing, mortgage, real estate game. The whole game got tipped upside down, turned over. I'm put in a blender, and the company that I had most been speaking for, the one that said, we'll book you any day you'll go out, went under. And they went under owing me quite a bit of money. So now it's, I don't know, October, November-ish, 2008. I have no money. I just lost a $250,000 a year job. I've spent all my savings. I've spent all my retirement, and I have 3 houses that I own that are worth less than what I owe on them. And I was in a real pickle, and I thought, well, maybe I should put my money where my mouth is. I've been telling people for years how to be extraordinary real estate agents. I'm going to go sell some real estate. So in January of 2009, I tapped in, which is kind of funny because agents were fleeing the market, like running out the door. And I'm like, I'm coming in. And that's what I did. Warren Buffett says, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. And everybody was really fearful of what would happen as a real estate agent in 2009. So I got in, and apparently it turned out okay. So like Aaron said, I was on my own for 4 years. I was rocking and rolling. I was doing really, really well. And my managing broker even said, Christine, you can't keep going at this pace alone. You need to start hiring some help and building a team. And voila, Aaron comes in. I don't have a team, and now we do. And we're super, super proud of what we built. We have extraordinary agents just rocking and rolling. We were just on a call this morning with an agent who's been with us for 6 weeks, maybe, Josh?
Yeah, something like that.
6 weeks. He's got 9 clients. 9 clients he's working with. Yep. That he's got working with us in the last 6 weeks, all from leads we gave him. So we're really happy of the machine we've built, the well-oiled machine. So let's talk about it today.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's.
So, the various things we're going to cover is, first of all, why be on a team at all? I'm going to talk about that because I love being on a team, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the specifics of our team, what we offer, what we ask of you, what we require. We're going to talk about the broker that we're part of, the umbrella on which we hang our license, the EXP model, and the difference. We'll talk about the money and give you some framework to decide if it's a fit for you or not. So with that, let's just jump right in. The value of a team is that it really does 5x your results just automatically. Why? Because we're talking about, the Pareto principle, where 80% of your results come from 20% of your activity. 80% of the results of any group of people come from 20% of the people in that room. The Pareto principle is a tried and true management principle that's developed in the late 1800s. In reference to a team, or how it works on a team for real estate, is, listen, in real estate, there's, I don't know, I think we counted last, there's something like a gazillion tasks to do.
A gazillion 3.
It's gazillion 3 is where we stop counting. But very few of them are money making, and they all have to get done. There's just very few of them that are money making. The money making activities are really talking to people, writing contracts and talking to people. And really writing contracts is, negotiating contracts is the part. Writing contracts anyone can do, but talking to people is the place where you make your money. All those other tasks need to get done. But if you can outsource those tasks to your team, you can spend 100% of your time doing the 20% of activity that makes your money. And that's what ultimately had me jump over to a team. I thought, if I could spend all my time doing the thing that makes me money, talking to people, it would be worth it. I don't have to hang lock boxes. I don't put signs up. I don't make business cards. I don't do Facebook. All that stuff is outsourced to the team. Gives me the opportunity.
You even have to enter your own photos in the listing, right?
No, I don't enter my own photos. I don't book my own vendors. I don't do any of that. I talk to people, get a listing agreement signed. I send it to the transaction coordinator, and pretty much everything else just happens. So that's, the real beauty of it. And we'll get into the exact numbers of it in a minute, but that's the idea behind a team, is that you get to outsource the activity that doesn't actually generate revenue, but needs to get done, freeing you up, right? On our team, what we really have available, what we offer the people on our team, we broke down into sort of soft and hard benefits, right? The soft benefits, fun. We think fun is not it's not an add-on. It's not a value add.
The necessity.
It's a necessity. It's a requirement. If you're not having fun, you can't be on our team. Sorry. Not sorry. You know, it really is. If you're not going to,
you're frumpy dumpy. Don't interview with us.
And you can't be more driven than I am. You couldn't be more like, but that's why I like a team, because it gets me out of my own way and has me have fun in places where I wouldn't otherwise. You know, there's accountability, and anyone will tell you, and you know this, I guarantee you already have, if you're an adult, you've gotten this experience that you are more likely to produce results when you make promises outside of yourself. You keep promises you make to others more easily and readily than you keep promises you make to yourself. Well, the accountability of a team is nothing. It's nothing to be, it's not not a little benefit. It's an enormous benefit for people being on the team.
One of the things I love is Aaron and I lead, and if you stick around, you'll hear about them, but we lead these 90-day challenges called Level Up. And it's very similar to being on a team where you have weekly accountability calls. And over, we heard people say, I would have never done this if I hadn't had to show up on the call and tell everybody whether I did it or not. Brilliant, right? Yeah. That's accountability.
And we're support staff is all those people that I get to outsource all that activity to. The marketing people.
We have a full-time stager. We have a full-time transaction coordinator. So you won't stage your own houses. You won't do your own paperwork. We have a listing manager. So you won't book your own photographer or drones. She does all that. It's on the house. We have a virtual assistant who does data entry for you. And we have the most extraordinary executive manager who she's really the director of operations. She runs everything behind the scenes, and she's brilliant. And anytime you have anything, she'll work it out. Totally. She's just that brilliant. So that's really staff that's there for our team.
Yep.
Awesome.
The training and the coaching, we, like Christine just said, we have this Level Up challenge. We run 3-4 times a year, probably 3 times a year, where you're in an intensive training. We have individual training. We have mentors. You're never left on your own. If you need help with a contract, or we use masterminding all the time about how to think about deals so that we can win more deals for our clients and more money for our sellers. And
if you're new, we have a 90-day training on Kajabi, where each module takes you through what it is to build an empire.
Yep. And then you get to, you walk in and you're all automatically credible. You're not a brand new agent. You're an agent on an award-winning team. So you get to use our credentials when you go on a listing appointment. Okay, it's not like, hey, can I help you sell your home? It's no.
I got to tell them about you.
Go ahead, tell them about me.
Okay, good. So Aaron started in October. When did you sell your first house?
Oh gosh, February of 2020, I think.
Yeah, and then we went to, it was Keller Williams. We were at Keller Williams at the time, and we went to
2014, not 20.
Yeah. It didn't take you 6 years, but it took 2 months, 3 months. And so 3 months in, and we go to this big conference, 18,000 people, and we get awarded. And by we, I mean me. And because Aaron's on the team, we get awarded a triple platinum award. And they're these big medals they put around your neck. So Aaron's 3 months in doing social media posts with this triple platinum. And people are like, holy smokes, you're only 3 months in and you're triple platinum. Well, that's because you get to ride on all the results. Listen, we've been the top team, or rated best of Seattle now for 12 years. I was rated top 100 most influential agents in Washington. Aaron's a best-selling author. He's also rated top agents in Seattle. We've got all of these awards, and you go into a listing presentation with a listing presentation showing them like they're yours, because they are, if you're with us.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's excellent. It really is. It's the best. And then there's the systems. There's the hard benefits. You got marketing systems. You got ads running all the time that you're not going to need to run. You got leads coming into the CRM. You don't have to.
Josh just got 9 buyers off of in the last 6 months, our leads sitting in our CRM.
6 weeks.
I mean, 6 weeks. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all set up for you. You just walk in the day you sign on, you've got all of that waiting for you. We regularly host events, with more events coming out now that, we can. Videos, photographs, retargeting, all the kind of back end systems that you would need to generate an ongoing business are handled for you. You don't need to learn any of that. And you can, but you don't need to. And it's all automatic. It's all outsourced to the team.
And it's on the house.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you that don't know retargeting, what that means is, when we go to Nordstrom's and we look at a pair of shoes online, and then we go to Facebook and there's those shoes, they're chasing you. That's retargeting. So when you're with us, houses are going to chase people. Your listings are going to chase people. There you go.
Great. Here's the money. So this is the way it stacks up between being on a team or being solo. So it's critical that you deal with, as a new agent or even a seasoned agent, any agent needs to deal with, you are starting a business. This is a startup and you are an independent contractor. On the team or not on the team, you're an independent contractor. You're either outsourcing activity or you're doing it yourself, but it is really your business, and it is 100% on you to think about it like a business owner. So if you were going to take on the cost of running the business for yourself, it could break down like this. So there's fixed expenses in any business. That is business expenses you're going to pay every month, whether you do a deal or not. This is the cost of being in business. And then there's cost of goods. In this case, the listings that you have. Buyers don't really cost you anything but time and gas, although gas is not.
And time is your most valuable asset. But
you're going to pay for that either way.
Right.
Okay. So in a solo business, you have the fixed expenses, which could easily come up to $5,000 a month. Between the CRM and the coaching and the advertising, the dues and the leads and the signs and the cards, and everything that you need to be in business, at least $5,000 a month. Okay. Then the cost of goods, staging, cleaning, photos, drones, marketing, landscaping, advertising, all the work it takes to sell a house. Now, some of you may think, okay, well, I'm not going to pay for staging. Okay, that's fine. You don't, if you're a solo agent, don't pay for staging. But do know that we're going to come into that listing appointment after you and offer to pay for staging. So some agent is going to pay for staging. So if you don't offer it, you're not going to get the listing.
Wait, it's really great though, Aaron, because one of the things that you want to know that we're talking about here, because I can hear, if I were a new agent, I'd be like, I'm not paying that. But this isn't for an agent who only wants to do 4 or 5 transactions a year.
Right.
If you want to do 4 or 5 transactions a year, you don't need coaching. You don't need events. You might not even need a CRM. You could use your phone to put their phone numbers in. That's not a lot of business. This is for agents that want to do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 deals a year. You can't do that without structures in place and partners. And like Aaron keeps talking about, leveraging your time. So This is really speaking to people who are building a business. They're not just having a hobby called real estate.
Yep. Great. So each listing is about $5,000. And that's money you spend upfront before it closes. If it doesn't close, you spent that money, you don't get it back. It's really like that. Okay. It's $5,000 a listing. So if you sell a $500,000 house, we're just using 500,000 as a number because it's easy, right?
It's more expensive here in Seattle, but hey.
Okay, but let's just look at math. Okay. And it's that at 3%, you would gross $15,000. If you did 10 deals, right? Your first year, will you be doing not bad? 10 deals, not almost one a month. That's not bad. $150K is what you would gross. You'd have $60K in fixed expenses. If half of those deals were listings, you'd spend $25,000 on the listings.
So wait, hold on, slow down. So that's saying you worked with 5 buyers, 5 listings your first year. Those are your expenses if you're running a baller business and not a fly-by-night hobby.
Right.
Okay, good.
And then you're going to pay the brokerage $16,000. So brokerages, EXP, Century 21, Remax, Keller Williams, wherever, take a percentage of the deal, and most of them will cap. In other words, after a certain dollar amount, after you've paid the brokerage a certain dollar amount, they stop taking the money and you get all of your commission. That percentage split differs by brokerages. There are fixed cost brokerages that charge you $500 that provide nothing. There's some that Sotheby's, if you sign up and you don't pay the
$32,000,
you have to cut them a check.
for the
So
difference.
everyone's a little bit different. EXP is 16,000, which is as really a fantastic deal as we get into it. But
yeah,
if you
we were at Keller Williams, and I was paying $21,000 plus a $6,000 royalty every year because it was a franchise. So I was paying $26,000, and now it's 16. Pretty cool.
yeah. Now, and so all of that would give you 49,000 gross profit. That's not your net because you have other expenses that aren't listed here, taxes, things like that. But 49,000 would be what you take away out of $150,000 a year. Okay. As a solo agent. If you start now looking at the math of being on our team, right? You have the same fixed expenses, cost of goods breakdown to work at, except the fixed expenses are all paid for. You're not paying for any of those fixed expenses. All the fixed expenses that were there, you could just hover and not have any of the fixed expenses. Then there's the cost of goods, okay, where the team is going to take the cost of those things away from you, okay, but you're only going to receive 50% of the sale. Okay,
For
you're
buyers.
splitting with the team.
Yeah.
50% of the buyer, 40% of the seller. And that's variable depending on how many deals you do. But let's just say it averages out to 50% in your pocket of each deal. So that looks like this. So that looks like then $500,000, $15,000 a deal, 10 deals, $150,000, zero fixed expenses, $75,000 cost of goods, $8,000 split. Because when you're on a team, you only pay half the commission. I mean, only half the cap. Your cap is half of what it was. The cost of goods, $75,000, is really 50% of the game, right? The cost of goods.
And that goes to the house because the house covers all that for us.
Right. So you're left with $67,000. You're left with more money in your pocket, and you actually did less work. Okay. So we're saying the cost of goods overall is going to come to about half of what you spend, of what you earn, of what you take in. But at the end of the day, it's still less than you would have made as a solo agent, and you would have gotten all those soft benefits as well. So it's an enormous value for being on a team. And I want you to know this scales. It's important to get, at 10 deals a year, it's obvious. There is literally the math at 10 deals a year. But I did 30 deals a year. I did 30 deals last year. And when I ran the numbers, I saw my W-9. Yeah, I saw my W-9. And it was 200 and whatever plus $1,000 is what I took in, which meant, oh my gosh, I gave the team 200 and whatever $1,000. That can't possibly have worked out for me. It's time for me to go solo because I'm doing enough deals except when I actually broke down the math of it, I still made more money, and I did the deals because of those soft benefits, because of the accountability, because of the fun. I want you to know that being on a team scales. So
tell them when you went to your wife. Tell them what you said.
Well, when it came down to it, I was like, it was like, I don't know, the $250,000 it
was like a $30,000
last year. It was like a $20,000, $25,000 differential. Like I would have made, by the math of it, $25,000 more being solo, which, okay, I don't want to like poo-poo $25,000. It's a big deal. But I was like, all right, well, is it worth being on the team? And I went to my wife and I said, all right, Kale, what do you think the odds are that I would have made this money if I wasn't on the team? And she said, 0. There's 0 chance. My wife was like, 0, none. If I had to wake up in the morning and be on my own and without a team, without people to think about things, without people to keep me in a positive mindset, without actually being engaged fully in something, I wouldn't have done the deals. I don't think I would have watched cat videos, but You know,
Watch football.
I would have watched football. I would have done other things other than generate business. So it's scalable is the point. Okay. And it really does. I couldn't be more delighted.
And by the way, one of the things that's really cool is that in October, when we were doing our business planning for this coming year, we really did look, because I do have people like Aaron. See, look, Aaron, he could run his business on his own. So it's my job now to keep making it valuable for him to be on the team. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but we literally created, like Aaron's saying now, a scale where Aaron's going to be on an 80-20 split.
Not a 50-50. Yeah. So what's the other reason why it makes it scalable is because the team will scale it with you to keep you. I mean, really, rather than that 50-50, that's more like averaging out to be like 30% for me.
Right. So 30% to the house, and he still gets all the exact same benefits because of the volume he does.
So when we say that it's scalable, this is what we mean. If you did more deals, if you did 20 deals, you'd have this is a solo agent, it's 174,000 gross profit. Okay. Same split, same everything. They did 20 deals. Then on the team, same expenses, but your cost of goods goes down because you're doing more deals. You now still scales.
You still make more and you have to do less work. No data entry. I'm not going to jail because someone else is doing my contracts. No joke. I don't do contracts. I can't. By not going to jail, he would miss dates and he would forget to sign places and there would be coffee spills on the signatures. We keep him out of jail.
Yes. And I make more money. So even that's what I'm saying. It scales.
Awesome.
Let's talk about the model about EXP.
Yeah. I love this. I just spoke yesterday in Portland about this, but we made that jump from Keller Williams to EXP after a year and a half of doing our due diligence and really checking out. I mean, we wanted to go long before, but it was just, do we? Because it was so forward thinking and such a progressive model. And there's nobody else out there like them. So 3 things that they do. Number 1 is disruptive technology, and it disrupted the industry. Think about what Amazon did to Sears or Circuit City. Think about what Netflix did to Blockbuster or what Uber did to Yellow Cab. All of a sudden, you have these things in the cloud, online, available to everybody. And all these mom and pop, grandma, brick and mortar places are going out of business. It's the same thing EXP is doing to a lot of the older, I don't know what else to call it, older traditional brick and mortar real estate shops.
Yep. And in each case, I was just reading about this, when the founder of Netflix really went to Blockbuster first with the idea, pitched Blockbuster, and they laughed him out of the office.
Isn't that crazy?
Because when you're in the middle of it, you just don't see the future coming. And the future.
Seriously, how many of us wish we had bought stock in Amazon?
It was a bookstore. Come on.
3 years ago.
Online. I could go to a bookstore.
And then the other thing that's so great is that because of that, if you look at a traditional model, you have the international or the Gary Kellers, and then you have the regionals, and then they have the franchise owners, and then they have the staff, and then they have the offices, and then they go get us. But we're the ones bringing in all the money, and then we pay all of these things. At EXP, we don't. At EXP, they put the agent on top. We're an owner. Talk about that in a minute. And we have no desk fees, no royalty fees, no franchise fees. Our caps are lower. And we have better splits with EXP. By the way, the other thing that's brilliant about EXP, well, we're going to get into stock in a minute. So remind me to tell you about the cap.
Great. Well,
favorite.
You want to start? Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite because I got kids and I could not see my way to a retirement plan. I mean, one of my mentors said something the other day I thought was really perfect, was like, realtors don't generally have a retirement plan. They just die. And that's the truth. I mean, how are you going to stop slinging houses? What's your plan? And EXP provides not only a massive opportunity for ongoing referral income, but the opportunity to be an owner and have equity. So for every deal, I get stock. I get to buy stock under market value and put it in a 401k. I get to I get stock awards for various production goals. And what Christine was pointing to, that cap, that $16,000 cap, I get back. So once you reach a certain production level, rather than paying $8,000 in a split, you can elect to go to the full $16,000. And at the end of the year, you get that $16,000 back.
If you hit
stock.
a certain production level. So it's called Icon Agent. I know it might be a lot we're throwing at you right now. If you want more info, text either one of us. But as an Icon Agent, they give me my $16,000 cap back in stock. And they've done that for the 2 years I've been there. And so Aaron opted in this year for that same, because at an 80-20 split, he's going to hit that production goal and they're going to give him his $16,000 back in stock.
So I know that there's the no fee broker or the no split brokerages, but I made 130%. I didn't just get to keep all my commission. I made 130% because I got stock in addition to my commission.
Text me. We'll put the number. We'll put Aaron and I's numbers below this, but text me and I'll send you a video on how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about our team. Go ahead, Christine.
Sure. So, I think if you look at most traditional teams, or if you go, you've probably been checking out other teams, they're going to tell you have 3 options. You could be a showing agent, a buyer's agent, or a listing agent. We don't want to limit you that way. I could never get my head around how you could be selling somebody's house and building that relationship with them, but not be able to help them buy their new one. So we don't separate or differentiate. And most people find their niche. Who do you like best to work with? So you may be with us building your business, but in the meantime, Aaron will throw things up on the WhatsApp saying, who could show a house today? Who could show 3 houses? And we'll pay you. So you can go out and make $150, $200 that day as a showing agent, but you're still building your buyer business and your listing business. So you've got full reign like an independent agent of all 3. Yeah.
Great. And then, the splits we talked about with buyers and with listings, those are variable depending on your production. Either when you start low production, you're splitting your commissions with the team 50%. When you move up in production.
Why, Aaron? Why 50% at the beginning? Because you take more of our time, you take more resources, you take more training. We're paying your coach, we're paying your mentor, we're giving them a piece of the pie from every transaction. But when you're Aaron, he doesn't need, I still coach him every single week, but he doesn't need to have me review every contract he writes, right?
Right.
So it's a lot less manpower, a lot less admin, so you get more of that money back.
And that's really the name of the game, right? Is how much money do you get to keep? We loved being at Keller Williams, except if I can get paid more money for doing the same thing, sign me up. And that is really where this landed for me.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, you got to check into yourself and see, are these the qualities that resonate with you? Do these speak to who you are? Every one of these, we could talk about every one of these because they're so critical for success around us, being positive. There really are no negative Nellies on the team. Nobody gets to be on the team and gets to grouch. You just don't. If you're grouchy, then this is probably not the team for you, right?
And it's not like we're saying that's bad. It's just not the team for you. Yeah. Let me share a little bit, Aaron, about I won't use any names. We had right before COVID, so 2 years before that, we had a woman on the team, and I was giving her so many listing leads. She was killing it, doing like 40 deals a year, 2 years in a row, but she was always upset, just always upset. And then she started to gossip about some other agents on the team. And that for me was no brainer. She was the top agent on our team, and the leadership council got together and really looked, and we could no longer keep her, and we let her go. The very top producing agent we let go because she wasn't in our culture. By the way, this is just between you and I, but I looked at her production the next year. She did 6 deals. So we know what we provide. We provide a lot, but this is what we're asking of you. You don't get to gossip. You don't get to complain. Now listen, bad things happen in real estate. Aaron this morning came to the call and he's like, all right, everybody, I have a loss I got to tell you about, just so we could get it out. But it wasn't like, oh, woe is me. It was like, Can you believe this happened?
And it wasn't, I quit, although I had thought about it. It wasn't like, I did. I was just terrible. But
I'm out of here.
But it's, you got to be that way about life, driven, high integrity. You got to tell the truth. You got to be great with people. All of these qualities are critical. And if you're not, it's fine. Then there are definitely places for people that aren't these qualities.
Although I don't know how great you'd do in real estate anyway, if you're not great with people.
Right.
That's what we got for you, but we know you probably have questions. We're happy to answer those questions. We're going to have our phone numbers below, you can see. So you're welcome to reach out to Aaron or myself, text us, ask us any questions, set up an interview. If you got this video, you're probably already talking to one of us, so we'll touch base with you as well. And thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We look forward to meeting you.